Hello everyone, thanks for tuning in. If you don't know me, my name's Dimity and I just want to say a big happy 2019 to you all. Now by the time you're watching this video, it will probably be a little way into the year. I just wanted to share a couple of things with you. At the start of every year, I take some time to pull aside and reflect and recalibrate. I reflect on the year that was and I recalibrate and think about some things that I want to achieve and implement in the year to come. This year, during my time of recalibration, I came up with 3 things that I want to implement into my year, and I wanted to share them with you in the hope that number 1, it would help you because maybe you want to implement them in your life, and number 2, also for a means of accountability. So if you come across me in any way, shape or form, you can keep me accountable to actually focusing on these 3 things. The first thing that I want to be in 2019 and beyond is intentional. All we have is time. Every single morning when we wake up, we've all been given a gift. It's the gift of that day, and we've all been given the same amount of day, the same amount of time. We all have the same amount of time as people such as Michelangelo, Leonardo da Vinci, Mother Teresa. I love the quote that time flies, but you're the pilot. And I know for me personally, I look back on the last year and the years prior to that, and there were so many times that I was not the pilot of my own time. I want to be the pilot of my own time. And I can see in the past the amount of times that I've not been intentional with my yes and my no. I had said yes to things out of purely wanting to please people or feeling like it was something that I should do. For 2019 and beyond, I intend to be intentional with my yes and my no. So for me, this means actually counting the cost. Whenever an opportunity arises that I can either say yes or no to, I'm going to take that thing and look at it from every angle, look at it from the start to the finish, and make a wise decision as to whether or not I should say yes to it. If I'm unsure about whether or not I can actually see that thing through to the end, I'm going to say no. I love what Brené Brown says, and it has helped me immensely in my own life. She says you're better off choosing the discomfort of saying no in that moment than having to deal with the resentment of saying yes and not actually wanting to be there. So I encourage you, be intentional with your time. It is all you have. Whenever a yes or no is presented to you, have a look at it, weigh it up. Have a look at it from the start to the finish and then make the decision. Is it something that deserves your most precious commodity, which is your time? If it's not, then you're better off saying no, even if it's uncomfortable. The second thing that I want to be in 2019 is present. I want to be present in every single moment. Reflecting on 2018 and the years prior to that, I can see the amount of times that I was in a situation, whether it be having a conversation with a friend or in a business meeting, or maybe I was walking down the street or waiting for my coffee, waiting for the elevator, or even in somewhere so beautiful, the most beautiful nature surroundings. And I was there in the physical, but mentally and emotionally, I was somewhere completely different. Our culture and society today has 2 main issues. Well, we have a lot of issues, but 2 main issues that I feel like a lot of our generation today have fallen prey to. The first one is our obsession with social media, and I am fully guilty of this. There were so many times that I was in situations and I would simply pull out my phone and start scrolling through social media, or I would get my phone out to start taking pictures for my Insta story rather than being fully present in the moment. The second thing that I see so prevalent in our culture and society today is overthinking. Research shows that overthinking is directly attached to mental illnesses such as anxiety and depression. We largely, culturally, have an inability to simply be present in the moment. We're either so focused on the past, which no longer exists, Or we're thinking about the future, which also doesn't exist except as a figment of our imagination. All we have is now. All we have is this present moment. And I want to be known as one who is fully engaged and fully present in the moment that is before me, because at the end of the day, that's all we have. The third thing that I want to be in 2019, and the most important thing, I believe, is myself. I just want to be myself. I want to be the most authentic, truest version of myself that I can possibly be. Looking back over the past year and the years prior to that, I can see the amount of times that I changed who I am. I changed my personality, I changed the way I dress, I changed my likes and my dislikes even, simply to fit in or to feel like I was accepted. And if I'm going to be completely honest, this constant false projection of myself brought me into a really, really deep, dark place. And even though I would never wish that upon anyone, I think for me personally, it was a really good thing because it made me stop and reflect on my life, and it made me actually realize that I was trying so hard to be somebody that I wasn't. It made me realize how many things in my life weren't actually me. I made so many changes in that space, and now I've made the commitment to myself to simply be myself. I know for me personally, I'm so guilty of projecting a false self on social media. Oh my gosh, the amount of times that I have projected a false version of myself on social media is absolutely ridiculous. This is really, really dangerous. Our world is in desperate need of vulnerability and authenticity. We are all so different. Every single one of us is unique. We've all got different DNA, different tongue prints, different fingerprints, we've even got different smells. And the world needs our differences. The world needs our uniqueness. Every single one of us have unique qualities that we can offer the world. So for me personally, I am so sick of being somebody else. I'm so sick of projecting a false version of myself. So I'm giving myself a commitment, and you my commitment also, that I am no longer going to project a false version of myself. What you see is what you get. What you see is what you get. So I encourage you, just be you, because the world needs you. And it's in that place that you really are going to live your best life. So there you have it. Those are my 3 things that I am personally going to implement into my life in 2019. Number 1 is being intentional. Number 2 is being present. And number 3 is being authentic. I want to do this year simply being me. I hope those things encourage you and maybe help you in some way, shape or form. I'd love to hear from you guys. What are some things that you want your 2019 to look like? What are some things that you're implementing into your year to be a better person and to help you reach your goals? Thanks for tuning in, and see you later.